cloud. This is going to be hard. Gained a place off the start, go me. Hey! Dumbass! How about I do that to you? Bunch of dive bombers. I was looking for brake lights. These things don't have brake lights. At least with the race length extended, at least I have a chance to get back if I screw things up. Sometimes I found with some car AI, and it's not just this game, is that when you win by a significant margin, but when you don't, they're all over you. Strange. It's like they see you in front and they go, oh, I'm going to give up now. They don't tend to fight you too much. But what I found with this game particularly, the AI is maybe heavily dependent on the track, or it could be just my knowledge of the track, because the tracks that I particularly like I do well on. And it just feels to me that the AI is quite weak on those courses. Because I've done the US rookie tour was Sonoma, which was oh shit, what did I call it? Infineon and Watkins Glen. And I did better at Watkins Glen than I did at Infineon. So I can't remember the other name of it now, so I don't think it's in this game under the official name. It's in Sonoma. It will come to me. Sears Point. Is that the old name for it? I haven't actually done a career as far as choosing another drive yet, so I don't know if I'm missing something. Because they did say they would offer me a drive, but I don't know how I accept it. Maybe I've missed my chance. Because I started a new series, I don't know. I wonder if there's 2 races to this round. We shall see. Half distance. I don't particularly want to go down the full open wheel side because I'm not a fan of high downforce open wheel cars. Everything goes a bit too fast. I prefer sports cars or touring cars at that level. Plus I could probably get away with some door banging as well, so. I think the gear ratio change was probably a good idea. .118.2, so I was better than him there. It's just I didn't get a clean lap in quali. Don't know what race times they're doing though. I've never driven this layout before. So it's a bit odd. That would just be a long right-hander. And I think in the UK race, it was foggy, but I don't think it was actually wet. We raced at Snetterton, and I think if it was a real race, they probably wouldn't have run it because I couldn't see too far in front of me. Really weird. I'm sure these cars do have wet tyres though. This car reminds me a little of the Skip Barber car, the one that they use for training, where it just doesn't like to be rushed. You can't hustle the car, you've really got to be quite smooth with it, otherwise it bites you. Not sure they've got that in this game though. I've heard interesting things about Project Cars 2 though. They're gonna take away some of the automatic things, like the pit lane thing, where you can't control your car out of the pits, which I think is stupid. And there might be fully animated pit stops and things. I've never had to do a pit stop yet. The races aren't long enough. And I don't know whether there's actually... I'm guessing should be endurance series because they've got LMP cars and GT cars in the car selection. And I've seen that they've got Le Mans, so you would think there might be an endurance series somewhere. hopefully goes from night to day or day to night with changing weather. Now, I've put this game on real weather, and I assumed that that meant it was taking the weather from the actual location. But considering the change from sunny at Alton Park to a race in the fog, I don't think that's true. I think that was manufactured that way. The track days seem like a chance for scouts to look at your performance and offer you a drive in so-and-so series. Maybe that's what that's there for. So I imagine after this one's done, there might be another chance for a track day in the same vehicles. And I might choose an Aston Martin next time. We'll see. Because I think if I continue along the open wheel route, the choices I'd have is going in the F3 Formula cars. That's probably what's next. The one that looks like it's got a missile launcher on the fuel tank. Oh, I've taken a bit of wear off my left front tyre. Four seconds ahead of the position. See, they seem to have given up. Either that or I'm just too quick for them at this round. Formula C, is that it? I mean, that's still. I know it's got some downforce. It's probably still in the range of open wheels that I would like. F1 is just a bit too fast for me, or whatever it's called here, Formula A or something. This is Formula R for rookie. The thing I quite dislike about this game though is that if you don't have auto clutch on, you have to do a complete manual clutch gear change, and it won't allow you to go into a gear unless you have the clutch down, which I'm not used to. Other games that at least let you change gear in a sequential box without the clutch, but this doesn't, I think. Right, 31 points. Race 2. Shit, are we doing that again? Well, at least there's no qualifying this time. Where am I going to be? I'm on the back! 14 laps. I'll just put more in, just in case. Just in case. Let's see what they say about my signing me up. Oh, I didn't look at the weather. It doesn't look very nice. When they were developing this game, the AI was so dumb, dumber than it is at the moment, that as soon as you started... Sorry! As soon as you started the race, every single AI would go to the centre of the grid at the same time. It was... Make up your mind which way you were going. Oh, it's like the first day back at school. They are heavy in their defence to the point of wrecking the player. Right, revenge is the word. I still got 14 laps to catch them up. I didn't really want to be coming from the back, but probably made a bit of a dumb position trying to put my car in certain places thinking that they would move over, but no. Please tell me it's not going to rain halfway through or something stupid. Bloody dark though. Well, we can only hope. I think that the car games in general, although they work on their AI, and there's been some games which have got it close to humanistic behaviour, but they still act like complete and utter arseholes. Can't remember if it's this game or one other, that the cars, they will try and bump draft you in an open wheel car. It's just like, it shouldn't be that close to my rear. They would have like 5 cars nose to tail, and if something goes wrong, you know. Just hoping these guys don't get too spread out by the time I get up to the pointy end of the field, if I can. And I'm hoping it doesn't get wet. See ya! I'm not sure if the AI is set to have everybody at the same level, or, you know, one particularly, or 5 particularly strong drivers. So this race could mean that a totally different person would win, which is hopefully the case, so the bloke that I'm battling in the championship for would not be there. This is a dumb idea. That was never going to work. This is, though. Yeah, I've got Automobilista, and again, those cars have human traits, but they're a bit too violent. And it's at some points they just seem like they just don't think. And I remember some of the older games, so the older F1 games, you would have a crash in the middle of the track, and it would mean that no one would be able to finish the race because all the drivers were constantly trying to bash through the driver that had been stricken across the track. There was no sense of pathfinding to get around it, you know. Or if there was a crash happening in front, they would just panic and end up ploughing straight into them. But AI can only get better, that's what I say. I think so many so many different developers have a different approach to their AI. Some games have their AI so that they don't. I suppose it's maybe a limitation on how fast computers are, that they don't react to player physics, so they just follow an ideal line. So if you bash into them, they don't kind of react like a player would. So one of the AIs can hit you on the rear and make your rear light. If you did it to them, they'd go, oh. It's like brushing off a fly. They won't give up, will they? Now I was fully up alongside there. Locked wheels with the other. Looking at the wrong thing there. What position am I? 10. Ah, balls! Case in point. Yep, car's knackered. Oh no, it's not. I think it's going in the right direction. Ah, gotta do that all again now. It's kind of my own fault thinking that going up the inside of that corner was going to be a good idea, but I think I've got a bit of a damaged car now. But hey ho, what can you do? I think I've still got a round after this, which I think, because it's the Euros, it'll probably be the Nürburgring. One of the shorter layouts though. Yeah, I don't understand. I see a lot of people on discussion forums and websites and things calling out for casual racing. But if you saw, as you did indeed say, 75% of most of those races, out of 20 drivers, 5 drivers would have made it to the first corner alive, and the rest of them just, don't know, playing bumper cars or something. They think, oh right, I'm going to make up 20 places at the first corner, that will work. They don't seem to have spatial awareness. And I saw something on Reddit yesterday, and even with, you know, safety ratings like they've got in iRacing and stuff like that to actually promote safe racing, there's a guy that span out at Lime Rock, and the first thing he thought about doing was doing a spin turn in the middle of the track into oncoming traffic. It's like, you can see who's coming. What did you think was going to happen? You know? Cars can't just jump out the way. And particularly if you've got a set of servers which they're all pickup racing generally. People don't stay to the end of the race, you know, 10 lap race and there'll be hardly anybody that finish it. It's weird. Ooh. I think that the general rule is, you can take it both ways. That if you know you're a bit slower and you just want to kind of be the tortoise and basically just get to the end and pick up places, if you're, you know, you last longer than anyone else but stay clean. You know, if you notice someone that's in your mirror and they're putting you off, let them through. because they're more than likely to dump it further on, and you'll pass them and go, oh, thank you very much. But it's sometimes the attitude of some of the racers is not give anyone any room because they've seen it like that on TV. You can't do that in online racing. It just doesn't work. With some games the netcode is quite robust, so you can kind of rub against another driver and he won't notice it so much. But with other games it, you know, puts you into the stratosphere, so you've got to give netcode a bit of a wide berth. And I think if you're racing and a faster guy comes up to either lap you or comes up to either pass you for position, the main thing you should do is stay predictable, which is staying on the racing line, so that the person behind you can actually predict where you're going to go, because then they'll be able to pass you at a particularly safe point. Because what a lot of people do is panic, and then they swerve to the other lane on the straight, and the person behind can't predict that you're going to do that. The thing that they can predict is if you're staying on the racing line, and you may be when they're coming up to a corner, they pull out, and all you've got to do is brake a little harder than you usually do and just let them through. But to expect you to physically jump out of the way, that's their fault. It's their responsibility to make a clean pass. So yeah, staying on your racing line is the best thing to do, and all you've got to do in best case scenario is brake a little earlier, maybe when they're not right behind you, because they probably won't realise that, and just let them go on the inside of the corner. I've got a video on one of my YouTube channels. I say one of my YouTube channel, my only YouTube channel, where I did a pickup race. I think it was Automobilista, and I think it was the Brazilian stock cars that I was racing on. And again, I was racing on just a casual server with people I didn't know. And the title of my video was How to Get Banned, because I was in the top 3 fastest guys. I don't know where I was in qualifying, but there was one guy that was blisteringly faster than everybody else, but he couldn't keep his car on the track, and he seemed to have no idea on how to overtake anybody. He seemed to lack that skill, and because we were in stock cars, I thought, well, I can rub shoulders with this guy, and it's not a particular problem. It's not gonna blast him off into the stratosphere if I touch him. So I was quite intelligent with how I drove, and I'd make him make a mistake by kind of overdoing a corner and then go up the inside. And he probably didn't like that I had kind of touched him a couple of times and rubbed his doors and made him look completely stupid by going really wide on a corner and then cutting back and then just completely out driving him. But he was like a second or two faster than me, but he couldn't outwin? He couldn't beat me by the way he was driving. He could beat me by how fast he was. Oh, fucking hell. So, at the last part of the race, he was obviously a friend of the admin or something. So at the last part, when he had, I think this took over like 5 laps, and one of the last laps that we were on the server, I'd overtaken him in probably quite a embarrassing way. I made him look like a fool, and he was quite far back on the start finish straight, so we had about 1 lap to go, I think. And I could see him approaching at a pretty fast rate, and I kind of knew by the way that his car was looking at how aggressive behind the wheel he was. And suddenly he disappeared from the mirrors, and I'm thinking, well, he's gone the grass, he's going to try and T-bone me at turn 1. I braked earlier and didn't turn in at my usual, so he just went straight across my vision and crashed out. And then I kind of went on to finish the race first, and got some abuse in the chat because I was apparently driving badly, and then got banned from the server for out driving somebody. And him obviously taking me out or trying to take me out was not a bannable offence as far as he was concerned, so I don't understand. Treat people on track how you would like to be treated, that's what I say. And the fact is, don't panic when the car comes up behind you. That's another golden rule. Stay predictable. Because the age-old thing is it's the person behind you's responsibility to make a clean pass. And if they foul it up, just turn straight into me. If they foul it up, then that's their problem. But the AI is way too aggressive. I don't know if I can adjust it on here, because I just will not give up when I'm up the inside. They will turn in anyway and just think, oh, he's not there. And I will come worse off because my car is acting with real physics, and they'll just drive off into the distance. Oh, I don't know. When you can find a particular group of friends that you can have a laugh with and you trust, then racing with them is a lot easier, because you'll find that you can treat some people, depending on their driving style, differently, and everyone kind of understands that if you don't take it completely seriously, that people make mistakes. They can brake completely wrong for a corner and get it all crossed up. That happens, you know. Even the best drivers in the world get it wrong. So the key is not to take it too seriously. But for some people, I think that's too hard. It's all a bit of fun at the end of the day. Well, if I finish this far back, God knows what the championship's going to look like. And the fake Twitter is going to be telling me how bad I drove, which is always the way. Ugh. When you go on the inside, get on the line. Can I still go on the line to protect if I'm not really slower? I suppose the other rule is staying predictable when you're defending a position. So, like they'd say in Formula 1 now, you can only move once and you stick to it. Because if you start kind of moving over once and then move back to the racing line, it's kind of seen as blocking because you're kind of shadowing what the person behind would do. So as long as you're not moving the same as what the person behind is doing, so that's a blatant block. So you can defend your position and then be really canny about it. And maybe take the apex a bit slower so you'll get a better run off the corner than they will, because they might try and cut back on you and they need the space on the exit to actually... So you can drive intelligently and defensively even if you're a slower car. But if you overtake someone and you are alongside, then you have rights for that corner. Now, I always feel that if anyone is up the inside, the person on the outside could either give up and say, he's got that corner, I'll get him on the next one. But they are more than entitled to stay on the outside, and as long as they are alongside and not just got a part of their car, that you can drive side by side, so each other has got to give room. And you don't always see that in real racing, where they persist on having this idea that because I got in front on one corner, then you're allowed to then drive them off the road on the exit. But you're not. If they're there, they can't jump out of the way. You've got to fight for that position, so you give them racing room. If you don't give people racing room, then you're just taking away the whole idea of racing. Because anyone can drive anyone off the circuit, that's easy. So if you're trying to come up to a corner and you're trying to outbrake somebody, if you obviously outbrake yourself and go straight on, he would have to be able to see that and not turn in his regular point. So he's got to be very careful. And you could obviously end up T-boning somebody, but if you're on the inside, then you've laid claim to that corner. But again, you still have to fight with it, just depending on how they react. Whether they give up straight away and try and cut back inside on exit, which is entirely possible, or whether they stay there, depending on what corner is next. They could be on the inside for the next one. So, you know, give people racing room. That's what I say.
They don't make things like that anymore.